I'm gonna do crunchy prawn tacos today. These things are probably my favorite. They're light, but they're still so satisfying, and there's a beautiful crunch to them. We're gonna make the aioli. They're pretty simple and straightforward, so follow along and enjoy. Okay, so you just start with a plate, just any plate. It doesn't matter how much flour. I'll probably put about a cup of flour on here, and also probably about maybe 2 tablespoons of cornstarch into the flour mix as well. That just helps the coating of the prawns gets them nice and crunchy. I've got some buttermilk here and a little bit of milk. So buttermilk and milk, just crack a couple of eggs in like that. And give these a bit of a whisk. And then your crumb there is just pure panko crumbs. You can use normal bread crumbs, but the panko is much nicer because it's got that real crunch factor to it. So what we're going to do is just dip the prawns into the flour, then into the buttermilk mixture with the eggs here, and then straight into the breadcrumbs, and then they're ready for frying. I'm telling you now, the crumbs on the prawns, they have to be crunchy, and it is just superb. We're going to put them in beautiful wraps with the aioli. We're going to use a bit of fennel, cabbage. Cabbage doesn't sound the best, but let me tell you, it is beautiful when we mix it up this way at least. And we'll put some spring onions, some chili, some garlic in the aioli. Just be beautiful. I've got some green prawns here. They're ready to be cooked. You drop them in the flour like that. Then into the buttermilk. Get them all around. Cover them completely. Fantastic. I like the tails. Eat the tails. Back into your panko crumbs. It's all part of the fun. That's how they come up. Just a green prawn, beautifully coated with the buttermilk, the egg, the flour, and the panko crumb. They're ready to go in the fryer. Gonna be amazing. So I've just got the oil heating up in the pan at the moment, and I'll prep up for the actual wraps themselves. We'll make a bit of the aioli, and we'll cut up some coriander and spring onions and chilies and a bit of garlic and stuff like that. Okay, a bit of mayo into the bowl. Squirt as much as you want in there, depending on how many you're making and all that. Again, we don't do recipes here, but there you go. That should probably do 4 or 5 wraps easily. Garlic, we'll put a clove of garlic into it. We'll put a little bit of chili in there and some salt and pepper, and that's done. Maybe about half a chili. I love my garlic and chili. So I've got plenty in there. You put it into taste, how you feel about it. Bit of lime as well. Probably the juice of half a lime. Give that a squeeze in there. And then some salt. And then a little bit of pepper. Good. And then just give it a bit of a stir up. Nice creamy homemade aioli. Put the things that you love in it. If you don't like chili, don't put chili. If you love it, put it. as much as you want or as little as you want. That tastes incredible. That is amazing. Ale is good to go. All right, so now I've got some cabbage, some spring onion, some chives, some chili, and some coriander. So you can either use a grater with the either use a grater or just cut it real fine. Cut your cabbage fine. This is green cabbage. Just cut some of that up. Put that to the side. I've also got some fennel. Some really nice fennel. Just finely slice the fennel. You don't want to put too much on, but it just gives it that nice aniseed flavour. Take the end off. Put that here. But spring onions, just, you can even put them in whole if you want, but chives. You probably don't really need the chives with the spring onions, but extra flavour, why not? Nice bit of chili. Okay, so you get your cabbage, your fennel, chili, chives and spring onions, all ready to go. Now we've just got to deep fry the prawns. We'll just deep fry the prawns and then we're ready to plate it all up. Okay, so it's time to deep fry these bad boy prawns. Beautiful. Just as you're putting them into the oil, be real careful with your fingers because it's going to be hot. So just drop in as many as you can. And you'll probably only need to cook for about 2 minutes, all up. Just turn them once. Get your oil to about 180 degrees. I just use my little thermometer to check, make sure we're at the right temperature. I don't think we're going to get all of these in the one shot, but we'll come close. And let them cook away for a couple of minutes. Okay, these are beautiful. These guys are ready. Just put them in your little strainer. Drop them in over here. Look at those. Have a look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so the prawns are beautiful and crunchy. We've got everything prepared here, so I'll just show you how to plate it up. Which order, it doesn't really matter, but this is how I like to do it. Put a bit of aioli. Just run your aioli across the wrap there. I'm just using tortilla wraps here. They work lovely. Then some cabbage. Grab a little bit of cabbage. You don't need to go overboard with it. Like that. Some fennel. Put a couple of pieces of fennel across just for that extra flavour. And then we'll get, say, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 of these guys. Have a look at those prawns. Absolutely superb. Lovely and crunchy. And here's where you start to make it look pretty. Maybe some chives over the top. Some spring onions. They're going everywhere, but that's okay. Maybe a couple more. A little bit more of the sauce on the top. And then the most important is your coriander. Sprinkle your coriander across. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt. And of course, some chili. And there you have your beautiful prawn taco, crunchy prawn taco wrap with homemade garlic, aioli, fennel, cabbage, spring onion. Oh, it's beautiful.